You've done everything right. Training, nutrition, recovery. You've had the blood work done more than once, and everything came back normal. But something's still off. Your energy is less consistent than it was 3 years ago. Your recovery, it takes longer than it used to. And the mental edge, it isn't quite there. And the question you've been sitting with, the one that you don't say out loud, is this just what getting older feels like? And I want to say this clearly. It's not. What you've been describing has a name. It's called the performance gap. It has a mechanism. It's measurable and it's addressable. My name is Dr. Josh Bletzinger. I've spent 22 years in clinical practice. I'm a chiropractor, a functional medicine practitioner, and a sports rehab specialist. And after 2 decades of watching disciplined, high output adults been getting told that they're fine when they know that they're not, I built a system specifically for people sitting where you're at right now. It's called the performance gap system. And today I'm going to tell you what it is, why I built it, who it's for, and what to do next. Let me give you a concept that reframes everything you've experienced. Your body, it operates under something called allostatic load. Allostasis is how your body maintains stability through stress. Every time you train, every time you push, every time you ask more of your system than it's currently calibrated for, your body mounts a response. It adapts. That's the system working. Allostatic load is what happens when that response never fully completes. When demand persistently exceeds recovery capacity, not because you're weak, but because the system is carrying more than it's releasing, load accumulates. It's quiet, it's incremental. And here's the part most people miss. The body compensates before it breaks. Structurally, metabolically, and neurologically. Your body will find a way to keep you upright and functional long before any of this shows up on a standard lab panel, long before it produces a diagnosis your doctor would flag. And that compensation is what you're feeling. The slow recovery, the inconsistent energy, the edge that's not quite there. These are not signs of aging. They're signs of a system compensating under accumulated load. The compensation has a ceiling. That is called the performance gap. The space between the output you are capable of and the output your system can currently deliver. It's not character, it's not weakness. It is data, and it can be measured. This system did not come from a textbook. It came from a clinic floor and a personal experience I couldn't ignore. I played college hockey, and like a lot of athletes, I pushed through the signals my body was sending for a long time. Eventually, those signals became injuries I couldn't push through. But I went through the standard rehab. I went through the standard testing, and I came out the other side cleared. But cleared is not the same as restored. So I had to figure out the difference for myself before I could do it for anyone else. And in the 22 years since, I've worked with athletes at every level: high school, college, professional, Olympic. Comeback stories and active competitors and people in their 40s and 50s who've done everything right and still feel wrong. And the pattern is always the same. The system is not broken, it's under load, and nobody measured it. And that's why I built the performance gap system, not as a program, as a diagnostic framework that finally explains what disciplined people are feeling in language that matches the precision they bring to the rest of their lives. Data beats discipline, and discipline without data is just guessing harder. So I want to be specific about who this system is for, because it's not for everyone, and it shouldn't be. It's for the disciplined, high output adult, someone in their 30s, 40s, or 50s who trains consistently, they eat well, they take recovery seriously, and is not satisfied with feeling slightly off as the new baseline. It's for the comeback athlete, someone who used to operate at a high level, fell out of it through injury or life, and is trying to find their way back without guessing. It's for the person whose blood work keeps coming back normal while their experience keeps telling them something else is true. And it's not for someone looking for a quick fix. It's not for someone who wants to be told they're fine. And it's not for someone unwilling to look at their own data. If you've already accepted that this is just aging, this is not for you. But if part of you still doesn't believe that answer, keep watching. Here's why this system produces results that single lens approaches do not. Most practitioners operate from one lens. Your primary care doctor operates from a disease detection lens. Their job is to find pathology, and when they don't find it, the visit ends. That's the system they're trained with. It's not wrong, it's just built for a different question. Your functional medicine provider operates from a metabolic lens. Hormones, gut, inflammation. Important, incomplete. Your physio or chiropractor operates from a structural lens. How you move, how you load. Also important, also incomplete. The performance gap system runs both clinical lenses simultaneously. Structural resilience and metabolic function. They're mapped against 4 governing systems in the same assessment, in the same sequence. Those 4 systems are metabolic buffering, autonomic nervous system balance, hypothalamic pituitary axis regulation, and structural resilience. They don't operate in isolation. A metabolic deficit accelerates the hypothalamic pituitary axis dysregulation, and that HPA dysregulation blunts autonomic nervous system recovery. Degraded autonomic nervous system recovery accelerates structural breakdown. They compound on each other. And the reason most assessments miss the performance gap is not because the markers don't exist, it's because nobody's looking at them in relationship to each other. That's the system. And that's why precision matters here in a way it doesn't in standard care. So I'm hosting the initial public training on this system on Saturday, May 30th, 2026 at 10 a.m. Central. It's live, it's free, it's 45 minutes plus Q&A. And it's the first time I've walked through the performance gap system publicly. In that training, I'm going to teach you the 4-pillar load map so you can identify which system is driving your specific gap. I'm going to show you the functional markers your standard labs were never designed to detect. I'm going to walk you through the 3-step sequence for closing the performance gap in clinical practice. This is a clinical training. It's not a motivation session, and it's not a supplement pitch. So here's how to take the next step, depending on where you're at. If you're curious and you want to start figuring out your pattern, take the performance gap quiz. The link's below, and it'll give you a read on which of the 4 pillars is most likely driving what you're feeling. Takes 5 minutes. If you want the full training, then register for the May 30th live session. That link's in the description below as well. Save your spot. The replay window is short and limited to guests that register. If you're already done guessing and you want this handled formally and professionally, the performance gap diagnostic is the direct path. It's a precision diagnostic, not a consultation. It's a comprehensive load mapping, targeted Tier 2 functional labs, a written performance gap report, a personalized restoration roadmap, and a 60-minute results review with me. It's built for people who want accelerated answers and a sequenced plan, not another opinion. That's the performance gap. That's the system, and that's the path. So I'll see you on May 30th.